Hey there, welcome. Today's video is about reliance, interdependence, interconnectivity with all others. And it's about passion and doing what excites you and what you love, and this sort of new evolution of the human spirit to be your own boss, to run your own business, to do yoga practice, to do meditation practice, to teach the things that speak to our soul and our heart and our joy. And how a lot of the times the way this manifests, this passion project, doing what you love for a living, and this drive for that, it totally disregards reliance and interdependence with the world. And so some things that I experience, that I feel in the world from other people, and sometimes it's been explicitly said, other times it's implicit or it feels like it's happening, so I'm not quite sure if it happens as much as I think it happens, which can be the case with, our presumptuous perception. But I often feel like there's a pressure to do what you love and be fearless and go for it and work hard on that, and don't give up. But then I also feel this sense of, well, if you didn't make it, if you're not like a yoga teacher that's financially successful, let's say, or a fitness coach that isn't financially successful, then you were lazy, you didn't work hard enough, you should have did better, you should have did things differently, you didn't research hard enough. And I made another video about this where living your dream is overrated, because at this point, to financially secure ourselves with the dream, we almost always have to do something that isn't our dream. We have to do business, advertising, marketing, networking, entrepreneurship, We have to do even website design or video editing. We have to do things that aren't necessarily the passion itself. If the passion is massage, but you have no business bone in your being, but you have to do kind of business and networking to make it happen, then what's the difference between just going to get a job that pays you hourly, that you also don't like to do, or you do hours and hours of these, business patterns that you don't want to do, to just do a little bit of something you do want to do? It's often discounted how much of a dream, a passion, requires things that we don't actually have passion for. And so when people put pressure on others for not meeting their dreams, not becoming financially independent from it, self-sufficient, yada yada, it's a little disingenuous. And I've mentioned that before, but there's another layer that's disingenuous. Everyone that I know making their dream come true by pursuing their passions still wipes their butt with toilet paper, still has a house that's heated with electricity or oil, still requires food 3 times a day at least to sustain themselves, requires clothes, lights. A lot of these objects, these things that we rely on, don't come from people really passionate about making toilet paper, or really passionate at working at the electrical company. They just needed a job. They needed to put food on the table too. They needed clothes on their back. They needed their family to be healthy and sheltered. So any pressure we give the world to follow your dreams, do what you love, without really being aware that in order for most people to do what they love, they rely on many people to not do what they love. I'd like you to try and envision a world where that isn't the case. But I'd see the only thing that would really be would be like, we live self-sufficient, almost off-grid. Imagine if everyone who didn't like their job just stopped to pursue something more pleasurable. Would we have as much electricity as we have? Would we have as many luxuries and objects and technology as we have? Would we have cleaning products and sanitation products and toilet paper? Would we have plumbing? Would our water work properly? There's definitely some people in some of those fields that are passionate about it, but really, be honest, most probably aren't. So there's I think a certain level of humble modesty, gratitude that is needed and appropriate for people that do choose to follow their passion, because they wouldn't be able to without all the people that sacrifice. They really wouldn't. And if you feel resistance in that, I urge you to question it. I urge you to actually look at it deeply. Look at the interconnectedness of this world and our economy and our resource extraction and transformation and then import, export, yada yada. See, do most people love working in all of that? They don't. They're really just trying to get by. And yet for me to have, these pillow covers, which was a fabric that was for free, but some machine had to be operated and maintained for it to do that somewhere in the world. And I guarantee that person isn't like, their whole life is all about managing some textile machine. This book is from the library, but there are people in the world that work on extracting ink, that work on making the cartridges for those inks, that work in paper mills, which are super polluting, even if they're recycling, to do all of this, just to have a library book. We have to accept that the pursuit of passion, our dream, is a little disconnected from the reality at hand. Unless your passion is, I want to go out into the forest, rely on almost nobody, and grow kale and, eat my own food and maybe grab my own fish or whatever. We can't earnestly, universally pursue a dream and expect it to work. And then we can't put that pressure on other people and judgment upon other people. Oh, well, you just failed. You're just lazy. You're just not good enough in some way. Oh, you should try harder. Oh, you should try something different. While we all rely on our millions of conveniences created by people all over the world that aren't following their dream. And if they just stopped, how do we wipe our butts? Something to think about, because I feel it pretty heavily in the world these days. I think it's a natural process of something new emerges to combat the basically slave exploitative labor of our ancestry that's still kind of present, and we have to hold firm. We have to hold it really firm. This no, follow your dream, both for our own convincing, but then also to maintain it as a justifiable method of living. But at the same time, we can't judge people for not and just call them failures or think that they're failures or immediately go to oh well, they weren't good enough in some way or another, because it's just most likely not true, because we just need people to sacrifice if we want to live such a luxurious, convenient life. So hold compassion, hold kindness, and try to find a way where we can move forward with love and growth without expecting everyone to live some kind of pleasurable, passionate career. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Saram.